Hey Taylor, how are you today?
Good. How about you?
I'm good. I'm good. You coping okay? You're getting vaxxed and you're all like ready to see real people?
Yeah, I'm out in the East Coast, so
Yeah,
we just opened back up a good amount like a week ago. So
good stuff.
yeah, it's nice. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I would like to get out there. Maybe this summer, who knows? I really love the East Coast. It's gorgeous. So thank you for the film because we do get to see, we get a taste a little bit of the East Coast here
Yeah.
through the forestry industry. I have to commend you on this because, directorial debut, you took on a lot for this because not only did you direct it, you star in it, but let's go back to the origins because we know that it's based on a play, and I wanted to ask you first off, what was it about the play that kind of stood with you, and then you decided this will make a good film.
Yeah, I read the play when I was in university studying acting,
Yeah,
and Catherine Banks is one of my favorite playwrights, period. Um, so I really connected with this play in particular because my family's been in the forestry industry for generations. My
right.
dad was a heavy duty mechanic. My grandfather on one side worked the wood processor like Jamie in the film, and my other grandfather ran a boomboat business.
Wow.
So, so I knew the world pretty well. And then I was lucky enough to do the stage version. I was acting in it. And it was the second day of rehearsal that as I started to get entrenched into the world, I was remembering everything from my childhood and growing up in the forestry industry. And was thinking about, things that my grandfather or my father had said that were so similar to things that Jamie was saying in the play. And so that's when it felt really personal. I thought, okay, it'd be nice to take this on and see it on screen.
Yeah, and then once you decided to do that, I was wondering about the challenges. Initially, what really challenged you? Because setting aside even the acting part of it, just to show us this world, cutting down trees, what he goes through emotionally. There's a lot going on there. So, what challenged you?
Yeah, there's a lot of things that were challenging. I mean, we were making this movie on a micro budget through the Talent to Watch program. So, one of the biggest restraints is just how much can you do with this much money and how much time do you have? So, we were thinking how we want to capture both the landscapes, the destruction, but also the beauty of the East Coast scenery,
Yeah.
while also being close and intimate with our characters. And so we decided to shoot it on really wide lenses and really intimately, um, so that we could kind of be immersed in the world with the characters, but also get the landscape. And so that was one of the biggest challenges, was how do we shoot this movie in 16 days sort of thing.
Yeah.
Um, and that's where our team was fantastic, and our DOP, Kevin Frazier, was immensely a huge part of that, of finding a way to shoot it that way and do it in only 16 days. Yeah.
Yeah, amazing. Wow. Yeah. When you look at it, when you talk about it, you go, oh my God. Yeah, that's really not a lot of time to shoot a film.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's obviously going through your mind like, we got to get this done. We got to get this shot.
Yeah.
It's interesting because when I watched the movie, I was thinking, wow, what an interesting time that it's coming out, because your character, Jamie, of course, feels he's got support and stuff, but he just feels so isolated. And basically, what have we all been going through this last
Yeah.
year and a half,
Yeah.
So what a time for it to come out. Obviously, you shot this before, not knowing what the heck we were all going to go through.
Yeah.
Talk a little bit about that, and how how it might resonate with a lot of people.
Yeah, it's really interesting because it was obviously not a lens that we were thinking about when we shot it, like you said. And the thing that Jamie's going through specifically is less isolation. Like, we've been isolated from each other physically,
Yeah.
and he's dealing with the emotional and mental isolation that he's put on himself. To survive in this community, he's taken on an armor of performative masculinity, and then it's like it's welded itself to him, and it's like he can't actually pull it apart and get it off. And so he's isolated himself. He's done the action of isolating. And so it's interesting to think about it in terms with the pandemic and us isolating, whereas we have to isolate to keep each other safe,
Sure.
physically, and there's a mental health sort of there's a lot of mental health issues that can come with that.
Yeah.
In opposition to what Jamie's done, which is he's isolated himself with his own actions.
Yeah, yeah, it's really interesting, and also what is interesting to see in the film too, and a lot of people don't think about it. Look, forestry, it's a huge industry. It provides lifestyle for people and puts food on the table and stuff. But when you think about it, you're cutting down these trees. Where do all the animals go? Who count
Yeah.
on that area as their home. We see that a bit through Jamie because he's worried about, he's got, like you say, he's got this tough exterior, yet inside he's like, it's emotional for him. Tell me a little bit about that, because a lot of people will be like, yes, you think about the animals, don't cut down the trees, and but it's a interesting
Yeah.
debate.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, one of the things that interested me most about the play and Jamie as a character is that paradox of this hard case kind of guy who is so sensitive and cares so much. And a lot of that is actually reflected in my dad. I saw my dad in this character immediately.
Yeah.
He'd always talk about how when you're working these jobs, if you're clear cutting, you're working yourself out of a job in 10 years, sort of thing.
Right.
Because there won't be trees left, and it's sad what we've seen, like you're saying, with habitats, how it affects species, and how there's a trigger effect, because we're not supposed to clear cut, we're not supposed to destroy habitats or ecosystems. And there's a ripple effect on how you destroy habitat for one animal, how it then affects the next, and it can destroy a whole ecosystem. And so hopefully what people can see in the film is a little bit of that warning sign of, this is what it does to the environment, but this is also how it affects us personally.
Yeah.
Stripping away the environment, stripping away at our soul at the same time.
Yeah, it's really, really fascinating to think about. It. There's a lot of themes in here. So now that you've got this under your belt, what was some of the lessons or things that you learned being a director that you might take with you for the next project?
Oh my goodness, so many. So
Yeah.
many things. Yeah, you learn so many different things, not just about the technical aspects of filmmaking, oh, how would I want to cover this scene another time, or how would I want to approach working with actors, but it reinforced something that I've always believed, that what matters most on a set is leading with kindness, courage, and compassion, with everyone, and how much that matters more at the end of the day than even the product of the film. And that was one of the things we set out to do. And the more that we were working with folks throughout the whole experience, the more that we saw that was important, and that went a long way, not just in terms of people feeling good on the set, but in terms of their output in the film as well.
Yeah.
We had a really tough day in the clear cut one day, and that was one of the days that we went, yeah, this is where the kindness, courage, and compassion comes in. Is you have a long day where bugs are eating at you like crazy,
I'm sure.
yeah. So lots of things, so many things we learned. Yeah.
Yeah, I know that you've been kind of this has been rolling out and East Coast, in festivals and things like that. But at the end of the day, I would think you were just so proud to show this to people who live in the East Coast. What is the the reaction that you've been getting?
It was really great when we played here at the Atlantic International Film Festival, just to see people who connected with the film, who said, oh, I knew that guy when I was growing up, or maybe I was that guy, or or Krista, that was me when I was younger. The reaction of people saying they felt seen in that, and that that can be a hard thing, but it also can be a healing thing at the same time.
Yeah.
And so it was great to see that, and to see some people reach out personally and say, yeah, I'm really passionate about the forestry industry and clear cutting, and actually I'm part of this giant Facebook page where everyone's sharing all these ideas and thoughts, and
Wow.
and so it was really interesting to see that there are a lot of people in communities across Canada who are really passionate about this.
Yeah. So what's next? Have you started working on your next project or brewing there?
Yeah, I've got another micro budget that we start shooting at the end of July,
Great.
and it's shooting in piecemeal. So in between each sequence, there's 5 acts. need to go through physical changes, so and seasonal changes, so there's allowed for time. So, it's a shot in piecemeal, like once a month, until it's done.
Okay.
Yeah.
Take your time,
Yeah.
I think that's the best way to do it. Like always, do something where, oh yeah, I got to shoot that in the summer. I got to shoot that in the winter. So yeah, it works out really well that you can take your time with it.
Yeah. 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 It's fun to experiment with that. Yeah.
Good stuff. Well, thank you so much for your time, Taylor. I really appreciate it. I really, really like the film. I thought you did a great job, and best of luck with everything. And hopefully, one day we'll meet in person. That would be nice.
Yeah. Thanks so much for the time, and thanks for the questions. It's nice to meet you. Yeah.
Anytime. Nice to meet you too. And have a great day. Thank you.
Okay. You too.
Bye bye.